What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red and today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Radical Red using only Pokemon that evolve through happiness? Is a very awful mechanic in Pokemon that allows certain Pokemon, if you reach a threshold of happiness, if you don't faint, they beat some Pokemon, they get some berries, whatever, if you walk around with them enough, they evolve through that. That's basically the only rules for this challenge mode. We're gonna play on default difficulty, a minimum grinding, happiness Pokemon only. And also, each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys, so that will be fun to do. Here are the nicknames I picked up for this challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge videos, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. I post every Wednesday and Saturday. Anyways, let's get into the video itself. Fun and all. No starter Pokemon is going to evolve through happiness, so we're just going to get a fodder one and just a placeholder one until we get into the forest, Verdant Forest, and capture our first happiness evolution, which is going to be Sewaddle. Sewaddle's final evolution, Levani, will evolve through happiness, so it does fall into our challenge video. And also, we're also going to catch another Pokemon in the forest, which is going to be a Butter. That will actually straight up evolve into a Roselia through happiness, so that's going to be two Pokemon from the start. However, we can't really beat Falkner with these two Pokemon. We have to go into this egg vendor and get ourselves an egg to eventually hatch into a happiness evolution Pokemon. Eventually, we do get a Munchlax, but I felt we could get something better, and we end up getting a Togepi, which is going to be very nice. Now, technically, Togepi is not a good Pokemon on its own, so we have to evolve it right here, and there is a way. I just have to run around. Technically, that is a way, or we could just magically teleport into Cerulean City, where we're able to find ourselves the Friendship Checker and also the Friendship Groomer to groom our Pokemon. That's a weird sentence, but yeah, to up the happiness of our Pokemon, and eventually they're able to evolve. So we're gonna evolve our Togepi and then go back all the way to Pewter City and just pretend it never happened. We did this legitimately, obviously. And then from there, we're able to just barely beat down Falkner. Even after all that, we have to rely on Metronome to beat down Falkner, the first mini boss of the game. And we do get a lucky Aeroblast critical onto the Corviscar, and that's the only way we can beat him. Next up, we're going to face off against Brock next. Brock's going to be the very first gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Sewaddle against his Geodude to Razor Leaf into him and bait out his Vulpix, get his Oran Berry from the Vulpix, which is a nice play. Go out into my Togetic, eventually knock him out with my Muddy Water from Metronome, and also knock out his Geodude. Take some damage from the Onix, but at this point I should be fine as I have a Roselia in the back to Mega Drain, knock out the Onix for us, and also paralyze down the Arcan for us and Mega Drain to knock him out. Now after that gym fight, the rest of the Pokemon on our team is going to be available for us to catch. Firstly, we're going to catch a Baneri right outside of Mount Moon, and inside Mount Moon, we're going to catch ourselves a Zubat and also a Woobat. All of them evolve into the next stage through happiness. And then from there, we're going to face off against Cerulean City's gym leader. We're going to face off against Misty next. We're going to start the battle off against Misty using my Baneri. Now, I didn't evolve any of them for this gym fight specifically because it's technically just the second gym and I could evolve them all to the next stage, but I think it's more fun if I do the middle stage and the first stage right now for the first two gyms, and then evolve them into the next gym. They do pretty well from this host, as you can see. Sewaddle evolution, what's the Swadloon? I think Swadloon. Swadloon knocks out the float, so I'm not going to let it go down to the Frogadier just yet because it's going to lower his happiness. I don't want that. My Baneri unfortunately goes down. Then I have to go out to my Golbat to do some more chip damage, and eventually my Togetic will knock out the Frogadier. And then from there, I could put the Starmie to sleep, sacrifice my Togetic, and go out into my Roselia to knock out the Starmie. And then her final Pokemon will be a Lancer, which I'm able to Giga Drain and knock out for free. Easy does it. We get the second gym badge in the game pretty easily. And from there, we're going to just randomly beat down Bugsy. I don't do this too often. I don't face off against random Johto gym leaders because they don't have a lot of things that I'm looking for as items that are really great. And especially Bugsy, I haven't faced off against Bugsy in over a year, I feel like. So we're going to beat down Bugsy at the U-turn TM that I forgot to use in a lot of battles. So I didn't even benefit from that fight. From there, we're going to face off against the next gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Lieutenant Surge. I'm going to start the battle off using my Roserade, which I evolved from my Roselia. And I'm able to Toxic Spikes down the first Pokemon, and then I can switch out into my Levani. Levani is going to knock out the Raichu for us, super simple, and get a plus attack boost from Fell Stinger, which allows me to do extra damage to the Vikavolt, and allows me to go out into my Lopunny, which isn't a great Pokemon just yet, but it'll get there. We're able to knock out the Vikavolt, and then the Bolton comes out. I'm going to go sack my Togetic, do some chip damage with the poison damage, and then go out to my Lopunny once again, and then sacrifice my Woobat. Poor Woobat, he didn't evolve before this gym. but I'm able to knock out the Rotom and then also knock out the Pinchurchin. From there though, his final Pokemon will be a Mega Manectric, which is going to knock out my Lopunny. All good though, as I go out into my Roserade to Giga Drain twice to knock him out, and we end up getting the third gym badge of the game. From there though, we're going to move on past the Rock Tunnel into Celadon City and get some brand new items. We thought about getting the Eevee, but I thought against it because I like my team how it is, ironically, even though they're very weak to a lot of flying type moves and a lot of rock moves. But from there, we're going to face off against the 4th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Erica next. We're going to start the battle off against Erica using my Crobat to do Wing Beat into the Rillaboom. And then I'm trying to outplay the Electrode here, and this is just a total fail. I sent out my Togekiss, assuming it's going to go for an Explosion. It went for a Thunderbolt, so I have to sack my Togekiss. And then I went out to my Roserade, baiting out Explosion, so I have to sack 2 Pokemon for 1, which is a horrible trade-off. But luckily my Crobat can make up for it, as we knock out the Meganium pretty easily without too much issues, even though I get a stat boost. And then from there, she can switch out to a Rillaboom. I get a Leech Life to get my HP back up, which things are looking pretty good for me. I get more Leech Life recovery from the Superior, and then the Venusaur will put my Crobat to sleep, but I go out to my Lopunny to fake out, knock out the Superior and also the Venusaur, and we get our 4th gym badge of the game, which isn't too hard. As we also head down into the Celadon game corner and clear through Giovanni and the Team Rocket hideout. And then also we got very lucky. We got a critical hit. I'm not too sure if the crit matter here, but my Levani actually barely beats down the Blastoise out of my rival in Silphco, and we get through that. And then lucky enough for us, we didn't miss a jump kick and we're able to knock out the Houndoom, beat Ariana and Archer, and then face off against Giovanni, which actually isn't a difficult fight. As you can see, my Levani actually clutched things up and destroyed everything on his team. One thing I forgot to do is to get egg moves. I have a bit of a spoiler ahead, but I didn't get egg moves because it was too much of an issue for me. I could have got sticky webs on Levani, which would have been crazy. That would have been really good. But from there, we're going to face off against the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is going to be a double battle fight, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Levani and my Togekiss. Obviously, we're going to go and target down the Hatterene to knock him out for sure. Survive Expanding Force, which is super nice. And from here, I know I'm actually faster than her Mega Gardevoir, so I'm going to knock out the Indeedee and just hope I get a flinch. And I do get a flinch against the Gardevoir, and now I could just double attack into the Gardevoir to knock him out. And then accidentally flinch down the Porygon 2, so I have another free turn to just attack her team. And we're able to do a lot of chip damage against both the Porygon 2 and the Crawdon. And then from there, I just have to send out my Roserade to knock out the Porygon 2 and also the Crawdon. And our final Pokemon will be an Ursaluna, which is pretty powerful, but it is 4v1. We just continuously beat down the Ursaluna, eventually knocking them out and getting our 5th gym badge of the game. Super nice for us. From there though, we struggled through the Cycling Road. I hate the Cycling Road in the new update, but we just barely beat down them, and we cleared through and got into Fuchsia City, where in Fuchsia City there is something very important for us. There's a very special item that actually clutched things up for us. We get the Mega Stone for Lopunny. Lopunny is now a huge threat. Also gets Scrappy when it Mega Evolves, so it's super good. We're then going to head into the next gym of the game and face off against Koga. Koga is going to be the 6th gym leader in the game. We start the battle off against him using my Togekiss to Ancient Power twice into a Swallow, and then bait in his Greninja to use Water Shuriken as I go out into my Roserade. I'm able to Giga Drain, knock out their Greninja, get my HP back up, and then the Drapion comes out next. I'm going to sack my Togekiss. Lucky enough, it works out like that. I go out into my Lopunny to fake him out and then accidentally knock out his Selgor. But it works out the best for us because Selgor was actually a big threat, and I'm able to knock out the Drapion as well, which is a big threat for us. And then his next Pokemon will be a Dragapult, which I go out into my Crobat. He goes out into his Toxicity as I go for a Confuse Ray, hoping he knocks himself out. He doesn't. I go out to my Swoobat next, which has a Focus Sash. He hits himself in confusion. I'm able to Psychic him, and his final Pokemon will be that Dragapult, which I am able to Future Sight and then go out into my Roserade. Ominous Wind to knock him out, and we end up beating Koga. Just barely. Oh my god, that battle took such a long time. You do not know how many times and how many attempts. I actually switched everyone's ability for that fight too. And then from there, we're gonna face off against Price next. Price is gonna be an easy battle. We clear through him, get a Choice Scarf for us, and then just clear through Jasmine. I'm not too sure if we use the Choice Band that often, but we just gonna clear through Jasmine because it's a super easy fight with Lopunny. And then face off against the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Blaine next. Blaine is going to be the fire type gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Togekiss with a Choice Scarf. Now Togekiss actually 2 shots down the Torkoal with a flinch and knocks out the Torkoal, and then he sends out his Cinderace, which will do a lot of damage to me, so I'm not going to sack my Togekiss for that. I'm going to switch out into my Crobat, sack him, unfortunate. Go out into my Lopunny to Mega and fake out to knock him out. and then the Typhlosion will come out. I sack my Giovanni, which won't do too much for us anyways. I go back out into my Lopunny to break his priority Soul Blaze, and then go out into my Rosary, take a Focus Blast, and I'm able to Ominous Wind him 3 different times to just knock him out. Somehow Rosary actually 1v1s a Typhlosion, and then here I just misplayed by going for Toxic Spikes. That was a dumb play. Then I go out into my Swoobat to Air Slash, do some damage against Sunflower as I'm able to fake him out using my Lopunny, and then his next Pokemon will be Executor. I live a Side Shock, and a return will knock him out, and then his final Pokemon will be a Charizard, which I'm able to return, and then I'm able to go out into my Choice Scarf Togekiss to Ancient Power and knock him out, and we end up beating Blaine for the 7th gym badge in the game, which is super nice. And then from there, Swoobat is actually in clutch up for us and beat down Ariana all by himself, which is crazy. We beat down Ariana and Archer in this consecutive battle, and then face off against Giovanni next in this ultimate end boss battle, and Giovanni is the Pokemon to save our day, as Giovanni is able to knock out Tyranitar, and then Salamence knocks out the rest of his team, and we end up beating Giovanni, and now we can face off against the final gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Clair next. Clair is going to be the 8th gym leader and final gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Choice Scarf Togekiss to Ancient Power into the Aerodactyl. It does get a Stealth Rocks up on us, but it doesn't hit us at all, as we're able to knock him out pretty easily. She then goes out to her Duraludon, which is kind of a scare. I go out to my Giovanni. Giovanni does not take a Steel Beam, so I go out into my Lopunny. Lopunny's going to fake out first, and then High Jump Kick to knock out Duraludon, which actually one-shots it, surprisingly. And then Magearna comes out next. It's going to knock me out. I don't know why I went for Power Up Punch, but I did. From there, though, this is actually a very funny thing. I go out to my Rosary, Omnis Wind, get a stat boost up against Magearna, and then it goes for a Shift Gear. I go for another Omnis Wind. I go for a third one. I get another stat boost, and I'm like, what? How is this luck possible? I go for a Giga Drain because I didn't want to test my luck, and then it catches Dracovish and knocks him out in 2 shots. She then goes out to her Dragonite. I go for an Apple Acid to lower his special defense. Go for an Omnis Wind, get another stat boost. 3 out of 5 got a stat boost, which is crazy, as I'm able to knock out the Dragonite. And now I'm gonna doubt, since I have +3 on my Rosary, I'm able to knock him out, and then also knock out the Magearna. And somehow we beat Clair just from a Rosary, which is insane. From there, we're going to beat down both our rivals, Gary and Brendan here, and then head into Victory Road, where we actually run out of healing items, so we have to get very creative. We start using Oran Berries at this point, but luckily enough, we do make it to the end and head into the Elite Four. And to start our Elite Four challenge, we got to face up against Lorelei and her Ice team again, which is always fun. So we're going to start the battle off against Lorelei and her Ice team. We're going to start the battle off using my Crobat and Lopunny. Crobat has a Choice Scarf on it and has Steel Wing to prioritize knocking out the Ninetales before it sets up Aurora Veil. And from there, I'm able to survive a Blizzard and High Jump Kick him, knock out the Glaceon. 3 Pokemon went down in 1 turn. Her next move will be sending out her Azumarill and her Rotom. Next, I go out to my Giovanni and then switch out my Lopunny into my Roserade. I go for a Victory Dance my first turn. And then the second turn, when my Rosary is out, I go for a Toxic Spikes and then another Victory Dance. Victory Dance is a move that boosts my attack, defense, and speed all in one, which is insane. And then from then, I am able to Leaf Blade knock out the Azumarill and Apple Acid to knock out the Rotom. Both my Grass types will go down to the Calyrex and Abomasnow though, but these are the last 2 Pokemon of her team. So I go out to my Lopunny and my Togekiss next. I think the biggest threat for me right now is going to be the Abomasnow, so I go for a High Jump Kick and Air Slash against him. Luckily enough, High Jump Kick is enough to knock out the Abomasnow, as I'm able to get a flinch on the Calyrex, and the battle is basically over, as we beat down Lorelei, and we can move on into the next chamber of the game. From there, we're going to face off against Bruno next. Bruno is going to be the fighting type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against his Infernape using my Crobat to get baited into a Zacian, which is the worst feeling. So I had to sack my Crobat, go out into my Swoobat, which will outspeed him and get 2 Heat Waves off against him and get a burn. And then I'm able to go out into my Lopunny. Lopunny will fake him out and knock him out. Infernape comes out next. I cannot take a close comment, so I had to go out into my Togekiss, which will Air Slash him, and then 2 Air Slash will knock him out. As Lucario comes out next, I gotta sack my Togekiss, go back out into my Lopunny, and then I'm able to fake him out and then Power Punch to knock him out in 1 shot. Conqueror comes out next. I decided to go out to my Roserade. Bad move though, because it's gonna knock me out, unfortunately. But I could go out to my Giovanni though, and Giovanni could go for a Victory Dance multiple times, as you can see. With the attack boost and the defense boost, I could take a lot of hits from him, and I ended up getting 3 against Bruno, and I'm able to knock out his Como and his Conqueror, and also his Urshifu, and things are just looking too easy for us as we beat down Bruno. Next up, we're going to face off against Agatha. Next, Agatha is going to be the 3rd Elite Four member of the game, and also the Ghost type Elite Four member. of the game. We're gonna start the battle off against her, starting with my Crobat to knock out her Zoroark pretty easily for us. Should've gone for a Leech Life. She then goes out to her Aegislash, so I decided to go out into my Lopunny. Lopunny should have faked out. Not sure why it didn't fake out, but then I should have go for a high jump kick, but I decided at the moment to go for a power punch and then high jump kick him to knock him out. She then goes out to her Marshmallow, which will close combat me, so I decided to go out into my Crobat, which will live a close combat and a Spectral Thief, allowing me to knock him out. And then her next Pokemon will be a Spectre, which will go for a Dark Pulse, and I'm able to high jump kick it, knock him out. Scrappy's such a broken ability. No, Lopunny's such a broken Pokemon in general. That's such a powerhouse over there. And from there though, I decided to go out into my Roserade to knock out her Silvally. Then her Gengar will knock me out as I go out into my Swoobat to knock out the Gengar, and we end up beating Agatha, which is super simple. From there though, we're going to face out against Lance next, the 4th and final Elite Four member before the champion. We're going to start the battle off against his Garchomp using my Choice Scarf Swoobound. I'm switching around the Choice Scarf a lot, but as you can see, I am able to do a lot of chip damage to the Garchomp and also the Dracozolt before going down. And then I go out to my Lopunny to return and knock out the Dracozolt. Then his next Pokemon will be a Dragonite. I decided to go out into my Togekiss to actually 1v1 it somehow, as I'm able to Moonblast him the first time, and then the second time as well, as I live a dual Wing Beat at +2. And from there, I'm obviously going to outspeed the Melmetal, yawn him down, and then put him to sleep using my Lopunny, Fake Out, Power Punch, High Jump Kick to knock him out. Just a nice combo move. And I'm able to knock out the Garchomp as well since I outspeed it. And the Salamence comes out, I do a return on him. He does live, but he's going to knock himself out with a double edge as I go out into my Crobat against his Dialga. I'm trying to get it confused, trying to do some damage to him. He's going to Roar Time me out. He sends me out into my Roserade. I just go for an Ominous Wind, trying to get a boost up against him. He's going to knock out my Crobat with a Roar Time again, and then I'm able to Ominous Wind and knock out the Dialga somehow. Technician boost the Ominous Wind is actually no joke, as you see, as we end up beating Lance, and now we face off against the champion of the game. We face off against Gary. So Gary's gonna start the battle off against us using a Pheromone, so it's not gonna knock my Crobat, barely almost knock on my Crobat, as we're able to do Wind Beat and knock him out. He then sends out his Metagross, which I go out to my Swoobat to Heat Wave into him, and then go out to my Lopunny to fake him out and Power Punch to get some boost up against him. His next Pokemon will be a Groudon, which I go for a high jump kick. Luckily it lands, doesn't knock him out though, so I have to go out to my Crobat once again, knock out the Groudon, and then this is what I wanted, bait in the Yveltal, as now it's gonna be a little sticky, but all I gotta do is go out into my Levani, as I know it's gonna go for a Sucker Punch because I outspeed him, and I keep using Sucker Punch until he runs out of all 5. That's when I hit 10 out of 20, and I'm able to go for an X-Scissor and knock him out, which is a dub. And then his next Pokemon will be Eternatus. I can't one-shot him, unfortunately. I go for an X-Scissor, which will do the most damage, and then I can switch out into my follow-up Roserade, which won't do enough damage, but will lower his special defense as I go out into my Togekiss to Moonblast, knock out the Eternatus. And his final Pokemon will be a Ditto. Ditto's into my Togekiss. He's gonna knock me out with a Moonblast, but remember that 3 HP Crobat I saved earlier? He gets a 3rd KO as I'm able to Poison Fang one shot down with a Choice Band, knock out the Togekiss, and we're able to beat down the champion of the game. We are now the champions of Radical Red, just barely, with our 3 HP Crobat. And look at the team, a bunch of Pokemons that I don't really use commonly, and they're really fun to use apparently. Mega Lopunny surprised me of how good it is. I knew it was great, I just didn't know how good it was, but that was actually really fun to do. Unfortunately, Swoobat didn't get to use Simple too much, but it was fun. And Levani was actually a surprise as well. The Victory Dance Levani really clutched up in multiple scenarios, and it saved us a lot of times. But that would be it. That would be the end of the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you guys can, please leave a like and comment down below some challenge ideas just like this one. And subscribe if you guys are not already. It means a lot to me. And my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.